Hey there, welcome. Pam Obasa here again. And in one of the videos I sent out last week, I shared with you one of my favorite Chinese proverbs, which is the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And I talked about the best time to start a business online was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And I gave you some strategies. In fact, I shared my 5 top ways to make money online through the information business. And so after sharing that video, I got thinking about my own journey, and I looked back and I realized I have been doing this, specifically this, for the past 16 years. That's right. I have been in the information business since I was 17. My very first product, my first offer came out just after I left drama school. Actually, when I started learning and I put together an offer, it was actually for schools, and that's how I made my first amount of money, and I knew that I could never turn back ever since. So I've been doing this for quite some time, but it wasn't until about 6 or 7 years ago that I moved online permanently. Before that, I was doing lots of things with schools, selling information to schools and going in, but 6 or 7 years ago I moved online permanently. Then I created my own program, which is LSS, Lucrative Sales System, and I started to build my team. And the crazy thing about this entire pandemic, the crazy thing about the fact that a lot of businesses have really struggled, and a lot of people have struggled, a lot of their livelihoods have been taken away from them. Life as we know it has changed, and I have no idea if it will ever be the same. In fact, I doubt that it will ever be the same. Right? A lot of that has changed. And one of the things that I realized is that for a lot of the businesses like mine, for example, who had moved online, who had created some, what I call assets, i.e. we had a clear understanding about who our ideal clients are, we have a clear understanding of the problems we solve, we have products in place, and we have started to build an audience, amass an audience. And I'm not talking about hundreds of thousands of people. You don't even need that amount. If you have just 100 people following you, but they are your specific people, they are your tribe, they are your people, you can do really well online. What I realize is that businesses like that, such as mine, haven't actually been affected by the pandemic. It's pretty much it's been like business as usual, if you know what I'm trying to say. Now that's the business front. Now on the personal front, everybody has been affected. I've been impacted, and this is something that if you follow me on Instagram, for example, then you know that I have shared this over on that platform. But I was affected by the pandemic in a really big way. Actually, my husband got really unwell and was actually in a coma for a number of weeks, and life as I know it will definitely never be the same. But the thing that I want to share with you is that in the middle of what felt like my entire life crashing, so my business was doing really well on the outside, but on the inside, my personal life, whilst my husband was in hospital and was literally falling to the ground, falling to pieces. I remember speaking with a friend of mine who is also in the business, has a great business online, and she said, Pam, it's crazy, you haven't been online for how long? You haven't sent a single blog post, sent a single email, and she said, how's your business doing? And I said, well, I had a couple of calls the other day because I just needed to do something normal again, if you know what I'm trying to say. And I had 3 consultations, and all of them came into my program. I enrolled all of them into my high ticket program. And she was extremely shocked, and she said, you haven't run a single ad, you haven't sent out anything. These are just people who came into your sales system, scheduled a call, because of what they saw, because of the journey that they went through that system. They said yes to a high ticket offer. At that time, that specific offer that they said yes to was 5K. They said yes to that. And she said, Pam, you are not being affected, your business rather is not being affected by the pandemic at all, because you have put the things in place. And that was when it dawned on me. And on the other hand, I'm seeing a lot of entrepreneurs, whilst a lot of people are trying to get in online, those people who are online are actually afraid of selling. And, I guess what I'm trying to share with you is how my business is able to make money without me actually trying to sell, if you see my point. So in today's training, I wanted to share with you three key things to really think about when it comes to selling during a pandemic. And how do you keep your business afloat? How do you keep the clients coming in, the money coming in, and how do you keep serving? Because when you are impacted in such a massive way by anything, right? It could be the coronavirus, or it could just be, a loved one being unwell, or any other thing that's massive that literally hits you in the face, and you're running one day and the next day it feels like you just ran into a wall because life happened, and life, as you know, it changed, and what was your normal has now disappeared, and you now have a new normal. How do you keep going? Well, that was one of the questions that I had to ask myself, and one of the things that I discovered is that there is a way to sell without actually selling. And whilst I wasn't showing up or running any ads or doing anything, I didn't realize that because of the things that I had set in place, I was actually indeed still selling, or rather my business was still selling, even though I was just at home focusing on my mindset, focusing on getting my husband well and praying and doing all those amazing things, and of course looking after my children. What are those three key things that you can do so that your business isn't affected by anything in the future, so that your business is ultimately bulletproof? What are those key things? Well, let's talk about them right now. Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to show up for your audience, right? And when it comes to showing up for your audience, is you have to talk about what they care about, right? If there is something happening in the world, you have to make sure that you acknowledge that thing. Now, it took me quite some time to even mention on social media what was going on, but because I had so many emails and messages and people just checking on me, because a lot of people have lost their lives during this time, and I think people were wondering why I all of a sudden disappeared. I then put out a post, and I just wore my heart on my sleeve, and I said, look guys, this is what is happening. I've taken some time out because I need to look after myself and my kids, and I will be back when I'm ready to come back. It was a simple blog post. What I'm seeing a lot of people do, the reason why they are afraid of selling is because they're looking at selling as, as just a singular thing. They're looking at it as a standalone, i.e. I'm going to create a product and I'm going to sell it, but they don't understand that selling is about a relationship. Right now, selling is about trust. It's about building relationships with people, and then they trust you. When they trust you, they will actually hound you down to buy from you, which is what happened to me. So even though I had taken some time out, I wasn't showing up, because I hadn't turned off my calendar, for example, people still booked in, right? And when I got on the call, because I'm going to be a woman of my word, they had hounded me down, and it was a matter of I want to do your program. I've watched all the videos, I've seen everything, I've been through the entire process, and I'm going to do it. So therefore I didn't actually have to sell, right? But it began with me actually acknowledging what was happening in my life, what's happening in the world, and not trying to put it aside and just going, oh, now I'm going to sell, or now I'm going to launch, or now I'm going to put out this post and I'm not going to give any value, I'm just going to sell. So business isn't business as usual. Okay, you've got to create a system, a process that people come through, and it's relationship building. They buy because of relationship. That is the first thing. The second thing you've got to do, if you are going to sell successfully in this pandemic, is you've got to focus on your messaging. Now, what is your messaging? Well, we deliver our messaging through videos, such as I'm doing right now. We deliver our messaging through blog posts, social media posts, anything that you are saying, even images out there. And that is your messaging. And how do you do that? Well, it's all about figuring out, what is the big problem of your ideal clients? What is your big solution? And what is the benefit? But I want to add a fourth component to that. I want to add the component of, you must make sure that you tie in what your tribe care about into that messaging. For example, if I am selling this pillow, right now, right? If I'm selling this pillow right now, I wouldn't just talk about the big problem or how, this pillow, the big problem that you're having. Perhaps the problem is a neck pain, right? And of course, my solution is the big pillow. And the benefit of this pillow is that it's hypoallergenic, and it has bounce back, which means that even if you've been asleep for 8 hours, your pillow wouldn't be sunken and have your neck all crooked, but instead you will wake up feeling all refreshed and all of those things. I would also have to tie in the fact that in this season there is a pandemic, and because of the pandemic you have to look after yourself a little bit more. Because of the pandemic, you've got to prioritize your sleep, and good sleep is extremely important for your health, so that you can keep up your immune system and so that you do not become unwell during this very tumultuous times. Can you see what I did there? Can you see how I've changed the messaging from a simple I'm going to sell you a pillow to actually now I'm talking about what you care about and what will pique your attention, because that is what the world cares about. So when it comes to focusing on your messaging, that's one of the most important things to do right now. So don't ignore what is happening. Tie that into your messaging in everything that you do, because it keeps you current and it helps other people know, your ideal clients. It helps them to know that you are not a one-hit wonder, that you truly care, and that you understand who they are, what they're struggling with, and where they are coming from. Now, the third and final thing, and this is probably the biggest thing, is to increase the amount of value that you give, right? Increase the amount of value that you give. And it's all about give before you ask. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about start doing all free sales calls and free consultations and free, what are they called, discovery calls. Don't do any of those. I'm talking about give value. You can do this, in an automated way. You can do this via video, which means you're recording, that specific video the one time, but you have set it up in a system so that you're giving value regularly and people are seeing your stuff. But give before you do the ask. Now, when I think about, our high ticket program and why our program sells so well, my friend, again, the same friend, she says to me, Pam, you have an ATM funnel. That's what she calls my sales funnel. She says, because when people come through, they always convert. Now, that is unheard of. And the reason it is like that, and this is exactly what I teach in my mastermind, is because of that give factor. We're constantly giving. Take, for example, our launch, right? When I come to launch a program, I spend literally days and weeks planning the content. And I spend hours and hours and hours recording the content. I don't just wake up and go, today I'm going to launch and I'm going to write a few posts. My team and I, everybody in my team is involved in creating this. And one of the biggest questions that we are always asking before we put anything out is, what is the value in this? Right, what are people going to walk away from? And my goal is that even if a specific person doesn't sign up for my program, I want them to remember this free program that they just went through. I want the program to help them out so much that they come back with testimonials. And the crazy thing is that has happened so many times. I mean, I recently had a call with a lady who joined my mastermind. She had a call with me the year before, a few months before, and she wasn't ready for my mastermind. So we agreed, you're not ready, go away. And I sent her, our free stuff. And she came back on a call with me a few weeks ago. And she said, Pam, I've hit my first 5K month and I've done it 3 months in a row based off of your free content, right? So that's how good it is. That's how good it is, right? In my mind, and the proof that we have with the testimonials that we have, I truly believe that our free content is the second best program in the world. Of course, the first best program is our paid stuff, the mastermind. But the free stuff, we put in so much effort into this stuff, that when you get it, you get so much value. You are able to get results, instant results. Well, not instant because you have to take action, but once you take action, you get massive results and make big shifts in your business. So what kind of value are you giving? Right? Are you just giving your time away for free, thinking that it's going to result in that level of impact? No, it's unsustainable. How many people are you going to speak to on a one-to-one level for discovery calls before you are able to impact hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people? It is impossible. Do you see my point, right? But you've got to think about another way of doing this. But the fact of the matter is, you've got to give before you do the ask. And in fact, just to prove to you exactly what I mean by that, I'm really excited to share with you that over the next week or so, over the next few days, if you're on my email list, you will hear about this. But depending on where you are watching this, there will be a link below for you to join, because we have been working on the latest free bootcamp that we have for you. And again, if you trust any word that I say, then you know that this free bootcamp is better than most paid courses out there. That's how good it is. And it is dropping over the next week. So there's a link below that. We're going to leave it up for quite some time, not too long. I don't know how long. It could be weeks, it could be months, it could be days. I have no idea. But once we have enough people coming through this free bootcamp, we might be taking it down. So that there is going to be a link right below this video for you to join. Okay, now we only want a specific amount of type of person to join this. Now we want the type of people who are ready to take action, who want to see a massive shift in their business and a massive shift in their finances. If that is the type of person that you are, then you are right for this bootcamp, and it is 100% free and full of value. So there is a link below that. Grab it and I'll see you inside the bootcamp. Now, before you do that, make sure you leave a comment wherever you are watching this and just let me know. Right? How do you feel about selling during this pandemic? And I'm hoping that this video that you have watched has, hopefully given you some strategy and made you feel better about selling and how to sell. That is my main goal. How to do this in a way that is totally on brand, that is classy, in a way that isn't salesy, but in a way that fits with the times. And of course, if it does any of those things, you will get incredible results. So drop a comment below for me, so that I can come back and respond to you. But don't forget the link below this video so that you can join that free bootcamp. And I'm really, really excited to have you on board. We will be, there'll be all sorts of workbooks, trainings, audios. There will be all sorts of stuff going on. I told you it's better than most paid courses. So I look forward to seeing you in there. Take a look below and I will see you inside our bootcamp. See you in there. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you do. See you there. Take care. Bye.